Hello and welcome. Today I'm going to set up another system from Tom, maker of the Vermibag. And this is a Vermibag breeder. Now, I am not breeding worms, but what I do have is a lot of these mortar trays that have been collecting over the years. And this bag is perfect to use for my red wigglers. As you know, red wigglers like to feed on the first 8-10 inches of material. So this is perfect. It's not too deep, but it has a really large surface area. So what I've done here is I already set this bag up, and if you're interested, it pretty much sets up just like the tote. So I've had some bedding, moist bedding that I made, and you can look up those videos where I make up the moist bedding, sitting in another bin for about, I would say 2 weeks now. And all I did was I transferred this material here, only cardboard, paper, alfalfa meal, a little oyster shell, and eggshell for grit, and you can use coffee grounds. Just it has to be really nice and moist. That's the main thing. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to put some red wigglers in here. Now, some people ask, how do I divide a bin? It's really quite easy. You can divide it through baiting out with cups. You can divide it just by taking half of the material that's already in the bin and putting it in another bin. Or you can do it this way. You can set up another bin if you have it, and make sure that you put in plenty of moist bedding. I would recommend that this material has been sitting for a while, building up microbes. Sometimes bedding will go through a heating stage, and you don't want to stress out your worms. You don't want to harm your worms, and you just never know. This material has already went through all its processes because it's been sitting for over 2 weeks. So I know there's microbial activity in here. I know it's moist. I know it's not going to heat up. So I think they're going to settle beautifully in here. I have about, I would say, 3 inches of bedding in here, which is perfect. And all I'm going to do here, this is the 30-gallon that I'm working on harvesting, and I do the horizontal migration. So all of this material I'm going to slowly sift out of here. And meanwhile, the worms are migrating to this section. So all I have to really do is remove this food and bedding that I put in here to lure the worms to this side, and deposit them gently here. And then all I'm going to do is I'm going to refeed the this section, the baiting, what I call the baiting section here. Meanwhile, these guys are going to settle right in and keep reproducing for me because I just divided the bin. And how easy is that? You see? So these guys right now have plenty of food. And I'm not going to feed them just yet. I'll let them settle in. And keep doing what they're doing. And let's see how this system works for me. I think it's going to work well. For the first, I would say, couple of weeks, I will keep a bubble wrap on top just to make sure that the moisture is appropriate. After all, it is shallow and there isn't a lot of castings. The castings keep moisture in a bin, so since we don't have it, it can dry out. And you know, there's a very large window here that breathes. So we want to make sure until, you know, we learn the system really, really well, how it handles, you know, your particular climate. I want to be on the safe side and make sure to keep the bubble wrap over that. Once I learn it, then I will probably remove it, or maybe not, or maybe the bubble wrap would be perfect to keep on these guys long term. So we'll see. But that's our system. It's the new one for me, and let's see how they do in the breeder. And also, you know, this is a nice way for you guys to see how you can easily just divide a bin. It takes no time at all. And now you've got 2 red wiggler bins. So that's my update. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next time.